this is America. This is America have a black eye right now. I can't stop seeing it because she's looking at me. She's looking at my camera. She's looking at America. She's looking at people. She's saying, "This is how I feel."
We're all too familiar now with images of protest, of rage, of grief from cities across the United States. Joining me now is Reuters photographer Carlos Barria, who has just returned from Minneapolis, where the protests began. Carlos, thanks for joining us. How do you prepare for an assignment like this? What is your strategy? Is it a matter of going in with a specific shot in mind, or is it about taking as many images as you can and hoping there is something striking in there?
I knew this story was going to be strong. It's going to be changing very fast. I knew I was flying in the morning, so I knew that I have a little bit of time to prepare my equipment and my logistics. In terms of logistics, what I normally do is first get in contact with the local guys, have a little bit sense of what is the mood on the street, what kind of what things are doing, what the protesters are doing, either throwing rocks, either throwing Molotov cocktails. That give me some information to prepare of what clothes I'm gonna wear, what safety equipment I'm gonna use, and then to have a little bit of the logistics is I studied maps. I went through the pictures that my colleague took the days before and tried to locate where is the police station, where is close to a highway, there is a parking lot nearby, where should I park my car if in the event of a massive stampede of people, where will be a safe place to have my car parked. And then with all that information, I just put it on like my notes but I go with a very open mind, just to get surprised by things, to get surprised by to let the story to take me and see what it goes. I try not to go with preconception ideas or preconceived photos. I just go with an open mind, but with the information of what's going on.
Well, let's look at what you were surprised by. We've got 3 photographs that I'd like you to talk us through, and we're going to put the first one up now. This lady screaming with a picture of George Floyd next to her. What was going on here, and what prompted you to take this picture?
So this happened around 2 to 3 in the afternoon, and there was a mass gathering in one of the city hall in downtown Minneapolis, and I was meeting one of our photographers there. I was bringing some safety equipment like gas masks and helmets, so I was meeting him there, and of course I went down and start shooting pictures, and there were bunch of speeches, people talking and on the microphone, and people kind of expressing their anger and their frustration. And there was this moment where they started shouting Mr. Floyd's name very loud, and they're repeating the name. And this lady, she went into a trance. Like, she was just like so outraged and so anger. She was holding this picture of Mr. Floyd's, and she was shouting to the police. I mean, you don't see the police in the picture, but I choose to concentrate on her face, because her expression was like, it was a bit of the first resume of what the night was gonna bring that day.
And did you
I went into her face. I was trying to concentrate on her face.
And yeah, I was going to ask, this is, a lot of your photographs are close-ups of people's faces, and the emotion, and whether the anger and the grief and the frustration and the sadness. Is that the image you wanted to get from this?
Technically, it was a very difficult. The light was not very good to do wide angle pictures or like massive. It was just like I was looking for characters. I think sometimes we have to look for to put the story on people's faces.
Yeah.
I think as much as we want to, we go into a protest and you see like a massive gathering. Yeah, you can tell the number. You can tell that how many people were in a in a demonstration, but you can also say how frustrated and anger they were.
Yeah, yeah.
Concentrating on a face. So what I like to do sometimes is just to go to a crowd and look. I started observing and trying to look for the character.
Yeah.
Who is the character of?
Well, okay. Let's look at the second picture that you've chosen, and this is a very different picture. This is a group of people jumping up and down as the Minneapolis police station burns. Of course, this is a protest in a pandemic, a protest when during which you're supposed to be social distancing. How did that impact shooting big crowd scenes like this?
It was stressful for me because it's stressful enough to be photographing a demonstration where like the people burning a police station, and but if you add the element of this happening during a pandemic, it was very stressful because I was wearing my protecting gear, not just the security gear, but my PPE, my mask and my goggles. But every time that you move around, you're surrounded by people no wearing mask, and as much such as I can protect myself, I don't know I don't know the back history of the other people around, and that was it. And on top of that, if you see the picture, it was dark. There was not. I mean, the only light that you can see, it was just projected from the fire. So it was a complicated situation, and it turned in. Those situations can turn violent very easy, and you gotta be very careful and looking and listening and kind of getting the sense and the mood of the crowd, because things can change super fast.
And what happened in this particular instance? Of course, as a photographer, you're drawn to the action. What happened after you took this photo? Did you leave that scene? Did you stay on that scene? Did it become more heated?
Yeah, well, this particular picture, you can see there is like a wide shot of the building where you can see people. So my first reaction was to go closer to the door, and I have a few different pictures more closer to the door and the fire. But then I wanted to show the scale of the magnitude of the people around this building and the fire. It was just like a scenic. It was a very strong scene. So I walked back, and I'm a 5'6" guy, so I'm not very tall. So I have to put my camera holding on my arms very high, just to get like a little bit of a crowd. And that picture showed the drama of and the scale of what was going on at that point. And like minutes after that picture, I was kind of wandering around the crowd, and I noticed I couldn't photograph this because it was far away. It was impossible to photograph. But I saw this group of guys moving into the crowd, and they were holding pistols, and they start shooting the building. The building was empty. It was on fire. But it was a group of 4 or 5 guys shooting in the middle of the crowd towards the building. And that was like, for me, it was like the red light. It was like, okay, this is it. I mean, it's 1 a.m. in the morning already. It's dark. People are very excited. There are guns. People have guns in this crowd. It's not a good time to be here. So that was my personal, like, this is it. I have enough. And with years of experience, I tried to learn how to pace myself.
Okay. All right. Let's let's pull up the final image. I find this image very striking. An image of a woman's face, or half of a woman's face. I'll be intrigued to hear why you shot it like this, with a black eye. I wonder how you found this person. Was she happy with you taking her picture? Did you speak to her at all? Tell us a little bit about this picture and how you got it.
So as you can see in the picture, there is a little fire in the back. Well, that was a car that was on fire. So I was photographing the car and people interacting, throwing things and kind of walking around the car. And then suddenly I saw this lady walking by, and I noticed her black eye. And I stopped, and I knew there was a picture there, but I feel like I needed to talk to kind of interact with her first. So I put my camera down and say, "Hey, how you doing? Are you feeling okay? What happened?" And she's like, "Yeah, I got shot by a rubber bullet last night, trying to protect a couple of my friends." And I said, "Are you okay? Do you went to the hospital?" I have a little conversation, a little background to kind of get familiar of what was her story. And then I noticed that she was very open to talk. And then I asked her, "Can I take a portrait of you?" And she said, "Yes, no problem." And she stayed for like, I don't know, 30 seconds still. And I kind of move around her, but I couldn't frame the way that I was trying to frame the fire and her and their eyes. So I decided just to go up with my camera and concentrate on her face, half of her face. Her eyes was, I mean, the story was in her eyes and the bandage that she had. On the, and I think that was the story. And I put that picture on my Instagram account, and there was a person who made a comment which struck me a lot. One of the comments was, "This is America. This is America have a black eye right now. That's how we feel, like we have a black eye." And it's true. I mean, I'm seeing that picture. I can't stop seeing it because she's looking at me. She's looking at my camera. She's looking at America. She's looking at people to say, "This is how I feel."
Yeah, Carlos, look, thank you so much for all of your time today, and thank you for your photographs, which also leave a very lasting impression with the viewers. Carlos Barria, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.